This program is brought to you by the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC.
This is NDDC Today.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Now, health has always been a major concern for the people of the NDDC across the Niger Delta, because the reasoning is that for people to enjoy all the infrastructures, they have first to be healthy. One remembers the rather successful free health program when the NDDC went from community to community, giving health services free of charge with some of the best, most qualified surgeons on the road. In today's program, NDDC flags off the distribution of cold chain hepatitis B and typhoid vaccines to 9 Niger Delta states. NDDC engages civil society organizations for sustainable development of the Niger Delta region. Plus, a special report on some ongoing and completed NDDC projects in Bayelsa State. Stay with us. Now, we did tell you before that the NDDC has always been concerned about the health of its teeming people, and over the years has intervened in some health projects across the Niger Delta, and many people have benefited from this largesse of the NDDC. Now, hepatitis B and typhoid are two diseases that actually have vaccines. These days, we're thinking of vaccines. But to preserve them, you need a cold chain, a refrigeration system that will keep the vaccines in place and effective over a long period of time. Recently, the administrator of the NDDC, Patrick Oke, flagged off the distribution of vaccines to the 9 states of the Niger Delta to cover some preventable diseases. Our correspondent reports.
Speaking at the flag-off ceremony at the Rivers State Primary Healthcare Management Board, Port Harcourt, the NDDC Interim Administrator, Mr. Patrick Oke, underlined the importance of ensuring good healthcare for communities in the Niger Delta region. He said the typhoid vaccines are very important for safeguarding the health of the people of the Niger Delta region in particular and Nigerians in general. The NDDC Chief Executive Officer stated that in pursuit of its mandate, the Commission had continued to support the Niger Delta states in their drive to address the health concerns and interests of the people of the region.
In 2020, for instance, the United Nations, through the World Health Organization, reported that a minimum of 4.5 million persons died of preventable disease that was related to hepatitis and typhoid fever. These are all preventable diseases. That is why I am here to express all our thanks to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria for ordering the release of funds to NDDC. He had authorized all agencies that are responsible, that are holding funds due to NDDC to be released immediately. And it is for this reason that we have used this money to acquire this vaccine.
Oke thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for facilitating the procurement and distribution of the medical items by authorizing the release of funds to the NDDC. He also commended the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for directing the Commission to pay special attention to health matters. He remarked that the Commission recently concluded a quick impact intervention program of the vaccination against cholera in Rivers, Bayelsa and Delta states and other areas prone to flooding and outbreak of cholera during the rainy season.
Ideally, our hands are full with indebtedness, trillions of debts that were created as a result of our interventions in emergency, in road construction and other activities. But the Honorable Minister directed that in the midst of paying contractors, paying for emergency jobs and the same thing, we should also pause and look into the area of intervening in the health of the Niger Delta people. Why? Because it is often said that health is wealth.
Receiving the vaccines and equipment, Rivers State Commissioner for Health, Professor Princewell Chike, thanked the NDDC for what he described as a laudable program for the health sector.
You donate to the people. I also would like that when you want to give us, just are there any specific one you're interested in? Are there any specific thing so that we also guide you properly, because this is our own field. If, for example, we have X-ray scattered in different facilities and you give us X-ray, it will not help us much. This is a lighter appeal. The vaccine is beautiful. The incinerator, beautiful. The cold chain, excellent.
The Health Commissioner advised the NDDC to always liaise with the state government in order not to duplicate efforts in the sector, urging the Commission not to relent in assisting in the health sector. Giving details of the medical equipment, the NDDC Director of Health and Social Services, Engineer Ukeme Nkamare, said the items included Porker walk-in cold rooms, solar direct drive refrigerators, healthcare waste incinerators, among others. In addition to these items, he said the Commission also donated 54 rapid test machines for COVID-19, PCR machines, fast, accurate compact machines with accessories, laptops for analysis, hand sanitizers, personal protection equipment, and Lassa fever kits to the 9 states.
Of course, we know the vaccines cannot get to everybody, but the NDDC will try to spread it across as many people as possible, and in their own little way can make a little difference in the life of the health of the people of the Niger Delta.
The Niger Delta Development Commission has engaged civil society organizations as part of a wider stakeholders partnership to ensure sustainable development in the Niger Delta region. Speaking at a one-day stakeholders engagement with civil society organizations in Port Harcourt, the NDDC Interim Administrator, Mr. Effiong Akwa, underscored the need to tap the knowledge of the groups on a broad range of issues in the Niger Delta region. The NDDC Chief Executive Officer assured that the Commission would continue to engage critical stakeholders in its efforts to ensure collaboration and partnership in the development of Nigeria's oil-rich region, emphasizing the importance of robust and productive engagement.
We recognize that beyond the critical roles in modeling policy direction, you have demonstrable capacity in development discourse and can therefore be an asset in seeking collective options on how we move from here. Steering the wheels of the Niger Delta Development Commission. As interim administrator, my work is challenging. In the first few months of my leadership in the NDDC, I have taken time to engage different groups of stakeholders and cross-pollinate ideas for the purpose of moving the region forward.
Mr. Akwa thanked the civil society groups for their productive advocacy in the past and implored them to join hands with NDDC to do more. Akwa said that in the past few months, the NDDC leadership had taken time to engage different levels of stakeholders to cross-pollinate ideas on how to improve the fortunes of the region. He said that with the determination and commitment to get it right, the interim management approached the National Assembly, and for the first time in over 2 years, they passed the NDDC's budget as a show of support for the Commission's new thinking. He declared that efforts of the interim administration were beginning to bear positive fruits, stating that contractors, most of whom have not been paid for years, after they had completed their projects, are now being paid, restoring confidence as many more are going back to site to complete their projects.
Let me also inform us that our humble efforts are beginning to bear positive fruits. Our contractors, most of whom have not been paid for years, even after they have completed their projects, are now being paid, and that in itself is restoring confidence, and many more are going back to site. It is also true, because we are here to tell ourselves the truth, that most of them still have outstanding payments, because what we inherited on ground, we inherited huge debt on ground. And so when we have that amidst scarce resources, what you do is to pick and choose.
The NDDC boss said that in an effort to ensure collaboration and partnership, the management had visited the governors of Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Delta and Imo states. The guest speaker and founder of the Center for Social Studies and Development, Mr. Ken Henshaw, affirmed that the NDDC had the onerous task of fast-tracking the development of the Niger Delta region. Speaking on the theme Niger Delta Development, what roles for civil society organizations, Henshaw observed that right from the days of the Willings Commission in 1957, the Niger Delta region was identified as an area in dire need of development. Unfortunately, he says the region had remained underdeveloped despite several interventions, including the 13% derivation.
The next attempt to drive development directly to the Niger Delta region was the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority, set up in the year 1976. Immediately after that was set up, the government went ahead to set up 10 other basin development authorities, and this was enough to deflect attention from the special needs of the Niger Delta, because the resources available were shared amongst 11 basin development authorities. It will surprise you, maybe not many of you, that the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority still existing today. It's a shadow of itself. It has not been able to translate into any tangible benefit.
He lamented that about 88% of Niger Deltans were living below the poverty line, worse than the national average of 67%. He regretted that abandonment of projects was the biggest problem confronting the NDDC and advised it to collaborate with civil society organizations to monitor its projects. In his own remarks, a civil society activist and environmentalist, Mr. Inuruo Wills, said the NDDC owed its existence to the efforts and works of the civil society organizations. He therefore asked that a civil society desk be created in NDDC for better synergy. He called for more attention on environmental challenges, urging that it should be incorporated in the proposed amendments to the NDDC.
Bayelsa State, one can easily say safely, is one of the smallest states in the 9 Niger Delta states, but has its own quota of oil. I think it's about the 3rd largest oil producing state of the 9 Niger Delta states. So there should be a lot of NDDC presence there, and there is. Correspondents went there over the week to see how the NDDC is impacting on road infrastructure, electricity, and health.
The NDDC has over the years made its presence felt in Bayelsa State as it has continued to commit its resources into contributing to the development of the state and its people with the provision of life-changing infrastructure and basic amenities. Otuan is a riverine community in southern Ijaw local government area of Bayelsa, and its people have been battling with the effects of floods and erosion in their community whenever the adjacent River Niger overflows its banks during the rainy season. During such periods, normal activities in the area close to the river and town are halted or restricted. In view of this scenario, the Niger Delta Development Commission has taken the responsibility to provide a long-term sustainable environmental solution for the people of Otuan by constructing shoreline protection at the River Niger bank, adjacent to the community, to protect the surrounding of the river from being washed away by flood or erosion.
The scope of work here is we have a total length of 2.7 kilometers. That's a stretch at the shore. And then what we are doing practically is to utilize geotextile material with a Reno mattress, then with rock, so that it will make it to be difficult for water to climb and come into the community. And the material we are using can last more than 2,000 years, that it can resist rust or whatsoever. It will remain the way it is for the next over 2,000 years.
The construction of the shoreline protection has gone on smoothly and has received the support of the inhabitants of Otuwan community, who are happy that such a laudable project has started in their community.
Before, when the rain comes, the erosion it do eat up the shores, understand? So provided this is done now, I think that would curb it to a certain level. I don't think it will occur again, because this is a job that you can't see anywhere, and it has been done. I know with time, I believe more will still come.
Applauding the NDDC for intervening in the community, Peter Oginta, an engineer, noted that the project is one of its kind in the area.
This project is really phenomenal. For me, it's one of its kind in Niger Delta, especially in a community like this that has suffered so much erosion. For the Commission to have thought it wise to bring this project to this community, I feel is a very welcome development, and I want to applaud the Commission and the federal government for this great feat.
In Ekeremo local government area of Bayelsa State, the people of Elebiri community are relishing in the solar-powered streetlights installed for them by the Niger Delta Development Commission, which they say has changed the socio-economic lives of the people. The project, which is 100% complete, includes the installation of solar streetlights with solar panels, batteries, LED lamps and sensor controls. In fact, the solar-powered streetlights in Elebiri is one of a kind, laced with unique features. Before the NDDC installed solar-powered streetlights, which lightened up the community, the approach at nightfall in Elebiri was always frightening for the people as a result of insecurity and other negative vices, and this made residents confine themselves to their houses immediately after the sun sets.
We thank God today that NDDC remembered this community, and it's a good thing that today we are happy, and you can attest for yourself. As you came into the town, you saw how the town was lively because of this light. So we give God the glory, and we thank NDDC for a good job. We pray that it should continue with this good gesture so that we can all be happy in this Niger Delta region.
With the provision of solar-powered lights, the entire Elebiri community has been transformed, as people now stay up late into the night, generally having a good time.
In short, we can come out and do anything with the help of this light. We can come out before, we can come out and play now. Before, everywhere is dark. Once it is night, we both stay indoor. But now we have the street light. We are very happy, all thanks to the NDDC that brought this light to us.
Traders are also relishing in the provision of the street lights as they display their wares and goods for sale under the illumination of the solar-powered street lights.
This is one of the best lights we have ever seen concerning solar lights, and you can see that the community, even we are in the night hour, you can see that everywhere is still bright, and we are enjoying these lights well. Since the installment of these solar lights, it has none of them has gotten off, none of them has been off. It has been on till today. Once it is 6 o'clock, it's on. Till daybreak, it never offs.
The entire community is in unity in asking for more of these solar-powered lights to be installed in other adjoining streets. Bayelsa is also reaping from the drive of the NDDC to link rural communities to major towns and cities in the Niger Delta region, as this development helps open up the rural communities and aids rapid development. Here in Ogobiri in Sagbama local government area, the internal road of the community has been reconstructed by the NDDC. and the people are saying it is a new dawn for their community. The scope of work carried out here includes site clearance, borrow pit excavation, excavation of unsuitable soil, concrete drains and stone bays. The socio-economic life of inhabitants of the Ogobiri community has improved tremendously as they can now move their goods and services right into the community, which in the past was only a mirage.
Well, the entire community appreciated the work NDDC has come to do in our community. We appreciate and we are praying that God should give the leaders of NDDC the fortitude to do more of this to our rural communities.
Access to the community before the NDDC's intervention was difficult as the whole area was constantly flooded. But now the intervention of the NDDC has now attracted more people into the community, and this has raised the standard of living in the area. What's more, the construction of this road has brought increased value of land and property in the area.
Okay, first and foremost, we want to appreciate, the whole community want to appreciate NDDC for making it possible to give this job to a contractor that is competent. Over times, they have been given this kind of contracts, but because of the incapability of the contractor, they couldn't do anything. But we thank God, this time around, the contractor is perfect and he has done it well.
Construction of the Ogobiri Internal Road enjoyed the massive support of the residents, who are now able to commute to their area with ease.
The contractor has extended the road to the Setraco Road, so now vehicles can come to the community through two ways, this way and the other way. So it is free for businessmen and women to transport their goods easily to their own destinations.
The head of the community, while acknowledging the good work done on the road, requested the NDDC to do more for the community.
Inner road leading to my town hall, we need the NDDC and the government to support us. And the road is end up. There is a place that we have some buildings that we want the NDDC and the government to extend the road for us.
Still on roads, residents of Azikoro Housing Estate in Yenagua local government area can now finally heave a sigh of relief after the rehabilitation and reconstruction of the internal asphaltic road in the estate, which was carried out by the Niger Delta Development Commission. The estate was conceived and built to accommodate different classes of people and provide them with a good and motorable road network. But the road fell short of that expectation when the initial roads in the estate became deplorable and most sections totally washed away by erosion, leaving residents to wallow in pain and with difficulty of commuting around their estate.
I don't really stay here. I come on visits. Sometimes before it was constructed, so especially when it's raining, you can't even pass here. There was a time I told the security here that they should put canoe so to fly, but now perfect.
Seeing the pain the residents of Azikoro Housing Estate area were consistently passing through, the NDDC came to their rescue and has helped carry out repairs and reconstruction of the over 2.7 kilometer length of internal road.
Now the road is good, is in good shape because the residents, everybody is happy. They were surprised that such kind of roads were going to come after this long period of bad road, because the road was really bad. There were some roads that they even turned to farms because they didn't attend to the roads and the rest of them. So when we came, we just have to do justice to it to make sure the road was done.
The reconstruction work on the Azikoro Road is complete and now in use. This has now helped transform the estate with befitting, good and quality roads that allow for a smooth and pleasurable driving experience. A resident, Ebinemi Zitimiyola, expressed her gratitude for the good quality of work done on the road by the NDDC and the contractor, and appreciated them also for the pace at which the road was constructed.
The difficulty is there, you don't enjoy the road, you're not happy living in an estate like this and the road was in that kind of condition. So when the contractor came and started work, we were like, we hope this thing will not stop halfway, we hope they will do a good job. And to our delight, He was so committed to the job. The supervision was there. I keep seeing him anytime I'm going to work, supervising the work, making sure everything is in order.
With the same commitment to assuage the difficulties the people are going through, the NDDC is carrying out reconstruction work on the unmotorable sections of the Zagbagria internal roads in Kolokuma, Okpokuma local government area of Bayelsa State. Before this intervention, the community had been plagued with deplorable roads that hampered easy movement of residents. The project is ongoing and is billed to be completed anytime soon. The King of Zagbagria, His Royal Highness Dr. Bokumo Olukari, speaking on how he used to journey to the community by boat, the only means of transportation back then, acknowledged that the internal roads constructed by the NDDC has now opened up the community for more developmental projects.
Well, you know that road is a starting point of development. When I built this palace some years back, I used to come by boats and then carry everything, cement, everything, even the protectors, carry it all by head from the waterside to here. If it were now, it is just driving in here and then dumping everything. Makes development easier. So it has opened the community for development.
The cooperation shown to the contractor by the community has made the work to progress smoothly, while it has also encouraged the movement of more people into the community.
The relationship the community has with the contractor have made the job so easy for him. No communal clash, no arrest, nothing. Because the highness hears all those things, and we embrace development, we welcome development.
With the road construction underway, the site engineer urged the NDDC to extend this kind of project being carried out for the Zagbagria community to other Niger Delta communities.
I really applaud NDDC concerning this job. I also pray that they extend such to other communities. I am from Abonima. I don't think I've seen road networks like this in my Calabari areas before. If they can extend this to all other part of the state, the Niger Delta regions, it will be very nice.
Well, that's as much as you can see right now in Bayelsa. That's not to say that that's all going on in Bayelsa. There's quite a lot, canalization, land reclamation project, because it's basically a riverine state. Well, we'll be here every week to tell you exactly how the NDDC is carrying out its mandate and how important your comments are, because this can help management know and gauge the mind of stakeholders to know what direction to plan. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you same time next week.